Hey there, all my gamer friends. I've done some investigating and I've got my new report ready on The Witcher 4. Now, when the Cyberpunk first issue came out that was glitching and crashing, CD Projekt lost a chunk of money. Their stock crashed. So I checked the stock, and that's in this video too. I'll explain what's happened and how it's rebounded, and everything's doing rosy peachy keen for both Sapkowski and CD Projekt. Now, I don't really call it CD Projekt Red anymore because it's CD Projekt Unreal Engine, but it owns so many gaming studios now that it's corporate owned by Big Corpo. It's just a monster. So, which is good for us gamers because that's since COVID and the recession, you just can't find any games to play. So let's get into it, and I'll explain further in detail what The Witcher 4 is and what's going to happen with it. Now, the originators of CD Projekt were gaming retailers, and they met Sapkowski and made a deal, and The Witcher was born. However, now, years later, since they kissed and made up, his sons passed away into gamer heaven, and Sapkowski now has over $15 million. Plus, I guarantee you, he has a big chunk of corporate stock because CD Projekt now is owned by corporate. I know Corpo's bad, but in this case, it's a good thing for CD Projekt. Now, the reason Big Corpo is good for CD Projekt is they now have access to millions of US dollars. That's a lot of money to buy gaming studios, a lot of money to hire a lot of developers. And they're keeping their hardcore crew of The Witcher 3, the CD Projekt Red crew. And they're going to be primarily focusing on The Witcher 4 trilogy. So we'll get into that further in detail. But look at this daily stock. It used to be $30 when Cyberpunk was full of glitches before they repaired it. Now it's $130. Their stock is high. They're oozing with money, and that's good news for us gamers. Because if you cut me, I'm going to bleed richer blood. I don't know about you. It's my favorite game. I'm a multiplayer in Call of Duty. I do many games. I post very few. Only the games I like on my channel I will post. Other games are a pain in the neck, but The Witcher 4 is definitely on my to-buy board. Now, because the banks are oozing in money, they are announcing 6 new games at the same time. They're making The Witcher 4 trilogy in just 6 years. So there's hope for us gamers to see it before we grow old and die of old age, especially in my case. But you young 10-year-old gamers will be in your 20s and married with children by the time it gets out. This way, it's coming out quick. It's coming out, I would say 2025, 2026, we'll see the first Witcher 4, the first of the trilogy, because they're working on it right now. The CD Projekt Red crew that made The Witcher 3. And that's darn good news. So one more clip and I'm going to show you what games specifically they are making. Okay, here they are. The 6 games that CD Projekt is releasing very soon. One is releasing this year. It's called The Phantom Liberty. Now, this is an expansion pack for Cyberpunk, which would be really nice, especially if it's free, but not a Big Corpo has its fingers in the pot with CD Projekt and owns it. I doubt if it's going to be free. That's like Heart of Stone and Blood and Wine when they released Witcher 3, they were free. I doubt it now. You have to buy them from the store anyway if you don't have them. The game that's highlighted at the top is super awesome. It's a remake of The Witcher 1. Now, that is going to be so great. We'll be able to play Witcher 1 like we're playing Witcher 3. And eventually, if they do Witcher 3, the complete trilogy will be played on modern consoles. Then we get to Project Hadar. Hadar is an original CD Projekt IP. It's the one and only, and I think they're the first ones to do it. I'm not sure about that, so I won't dwell too farther into it. The next game is Project Orient. That's a sequel to Cyberpunk. So Cyberpunk is not only getting the expansion pack, it's getting a sequel, and it is fully repaired. So if you don't own it, buy it now. The glitches are gone. It's ready to play. Us Witcher players finally get what we want. Witcher 4. It's called Project Polaris. Now, if you notice on the medallion at the beginning of this video, snow's falling across it. That might be their way of showing it's going to be different. But it's not going to be different. It's based on Sapkowski's writings. So I guarantee you this, they didn't pay him all that money without using his work. So they're going to continue the Witcher world, possibly up in Kovir or whatever. It's going to be somewhere snowy and cold. The last one's going to be Project Sirius. That's the multiplayer. I pretty much think that's going to be in Cyberpunk. Because I can't imagine 100 witches killing each other with swords. It would be chaotic, it would be cool, but you never know. We'll have to wait and see about it. So that's it. This looks like it's good. They got the cast, they got the developing studios, they're putting everything together. The hardcore group is making The Witcher 4, which is going to be called Polaris. And I'll only ask you one more thing. Remember one thing, keep on gaming.